Welcome into this week's edition of the Co-Lin Coaches Show. We're all about our spring sports, specifically baseball and softball this week, and joining me as our head baseball coach, Adam Chamblee. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Coach, obviously, we're only going to talk about this past Saturday's game. It was a good day to be a Wolf. You got a sweep, your first sweep in conference play. First one since you swept Cahokia at the end of last year, so and the first one at home as well, too. So, obviously, your thoughts on how the guys played throughout the whole day.
Yeah, really excited to get that sweep, and thought we played well, and thought we, especially in the first game, kind of back and forth type game, and just able to hang in there, and just really proud of our guys, and just finding a way to win, even though not the prettiest wins maybe, but a win's a win. So. Right. Really good day for us.
And you look at game one specifically, we'll start there. You win that one 7-4. You had to battle throughout this one the whole time. You took an early 2-0 lead. They tied the game with 2. You scored 2 more in the 7th. They tied it in the 8th with 2. And then you really took the lead with a 3-run performance in the 8th, and then were able to shut them down in the 9th. But, in a game where also a little bit of a rarity, we were talking before we started, you scored 7 runs but only had 3 hits. Hayden Donahue, the starter for the Tigers, we talked a couple of days ago. I was like, man, that kid was really dominant last year, and he kind of looked like he had gotten back to form against the Wolves. I think we were talking no hit us through 5 innings, but still found a way to win it. But, was kind of effectively a little wild. Had 6 walks, hit 5 guys, so he gave up 11 free runners there. But overall, your thoughts on game one?
Yeah, like you said, he gave us a lot. But the thing is, you got to stand in there and take your walks, and you got to hang in there and take your hit by pitches, which are things that we work on. A lot of guys, you could easily get out of the way of a ball coming at you, but we try to hang in there and be tough and take those bases. So, he helped us a lot, but we continued to play the game, in which that's a day that, I feel like we have been swinging the bats a little better. That one was just kind of hard contact, maybe right at some guys, and I don't think we struck out a ton. I can't recall for sure, but, just putting the ball in play right at people, and they were making the plays for the most part. Their troubles just came with him walking us or hit by pitches. But, and I thought Bowling gave us a solid start. I know that he's, he obviously can have a better start. I know he wants to we want him to, he wants to, but he still gave us a chance to win the game and did well. And then you got, Lucas and Duncan who came out of the bullpen, and, guys that both gave us a chance to win. Therefore, we were able to extend that lead and win the game. Right,
and you mentioned it, just looking at it, just 5 strikeouts on the day, so very low on the strikeout numbers there. And again, excuse me, as you talked about, you got to stand in there and take those hit by pitches and take those walks and those kind of things. And I felt like that was a hallmark of the day. Very patient at bats. You didn't have guys who were swinging at bad pitches, who were getting frustrated at those things. They were getting ahead, they were staying ahead, and they were just really confident. I think. I don't remember if it was game 1 or game 2, but Hagen Combs was at the plate at one point, had an 0-2 count, and kind of got a not great first strike, and then fouled off one, and then was able to work a walk out of it. Fouled off a couple, battled back, got a 3-2 count, then was able to draw the walk. So that was kind of the hallmark of the whole day, not just in game 1, but especially in game 1. You just had a lot of patient at-bats.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you mentioned it, but you look at the pitchers as well, too. Andon Bowling got the start, got a no decision, 4 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, both of those earned, 4 walks, a little higher on the walks than what you like to see, but 9 strikeouts. So, not where you want him walks-wise, but strikeout-wise, about where he's been the whole year. But you'd also like to see him maybe get about 7 2/3, and maybe I think he was a little bit higher on his balls to strike ratio. You'd like to see him throw a little more strikes, and even I think he would say he would like to be able to do that too, and you wouldn't have to use your bullpen as much. But then you turn to Lucas Harrington. Lucas was very effective out of the bullpen, as you mentioned. He got the win, improved to 2-0. 3 1/3 innings, gave up 2 runs, only 1 earned, 4 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts for him, and then Jaden Duncan comes in. J-Dunk, no hits, no runs, and an inning of relief, got his first save of the year and had a strikeout as well too. So overall, a really good performance out of your pitching staff in this one.
Yeah, glad that they were able to mainly keep us in it. Like I mentioned, it was kind of back and forth, and it didn't seem like anybody maybe would just take the game. It felt like we could have taken it a little earlier, but we just didn't, but obviously we eventually did. So, anytime they give you a chance to win, then you're happy about that.
So, and then you go to game 2, and this one you win it 6-4, but you had to watch about half of it from your office after some words with the umpire. But your thoughts overall on this one and being able to get that 6-4 win, and more importantly, the sweep on the day?
Yeah, really happy about the way our guys played, mainly after I got out of there. We were, I can't remember what the score was early on, but just continue to battle, and then Pittman on the mound, he had a solid outing for sure. Once again, always going to give us a shot, and then the 3 home runs were super exciting, even though, like you said, I got to watch those from my office. But, jumping out to that 6-0 lead and feeling really good, the only, I guess if you had to have a negative moment or discouraging moment was the last inning. Once again, that's kind of been our kryptonite in a sense. For whatever reason, we haven't been able to just kind of finish out and keep it a super clean game. But I mean, everybody's going to continue to play baseball. Right. Nobody's just going to lay down and say, all right, well, it's 6-0. We're going to go out here and have 3 really bad at bats. They're going to go up there and compete until the last pitch or last out is made. And they did that and earned some of it, and some of it, I don't know how much we gave them in that last inning, but we held on to it and we won a baseball game. And we'll work on maybe cleaning up those last innings and not giving everybody a heart attack.
Right.
So.
I think my favorite part of this one, outside of the 3 home runs and the 3 unique celebrations, JD with the bowling ball celebration, those kind of things, BB getting his first career home run, and we've kind of joked with him since then, hey, you going straight righty from here on out? Yeah. Those kind of things was really the celebration when you came back on the field and was able to celebrate with the guys, and it was just kind of like, that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be about having fun. It's yes, you want to win, but you want to have fun in the process, and that was a lot of fun for the guys. Yeah. First multi-home run game at home in Sullivan Field, first one since I think the season opener last year. Well, actually, you had 2 earlier this year in a back-to-back. Right. So, but first one where you've hit 3 in a game, probably I think since the season opener last year. So just this game was just a lot of fun to be involved with and to be at. Yeah,
a lot of entertainment, and I guess I provided some of that as well. Not that I meant to, but things happen.
So you look at this one, it was 0-0 through 3 innings. It was 0-0 after the top of the 4th, and the top of the 4th is where you score the first run. Tucker Jones, at the most exciting play in baseball, gets that leadoff triple and then scores on an RBI ground out by Hagan Combe. In the 5th, you get a leadoff, no doubt, laser of a shot of a home run from J.D. Weed. I think when he made contact, I called it right off contact. I said, that's out of here. Uh-oh. That's a leadoff solo home run. It ain't coming back. It's not coming back. And then Isaac McClinty later on in the inning hits one that I wasn't sure if it was ever going to come down. We had to wait for it. We were all watching going, is it coming? Is it okay? There, it's out. Yeah. So that was you're up 3-0 at that point. And then Brentley Berry, BB, comes up, has 2 runners on and gets a little out in front of one. And, if you go back and listen to the live stream, you can hear me sitting there. I'm going, stay fair, stay fair, stay fair. And you're watching the umpire, you're watching the ball, and you're waiting to see the call. And finally, he calls it fair. And, you really heard a roar out of the crowd on that one because of all the people I think that you would think would hit a home run. I don't know if BB's at the top of the list, maybe in the middle of the list, but anytime you get to see a guy like that who works his tail off for you, does everything that you ask him to do, has really hit some balls really well this year and has been robbed of some hits, to be able to get one like that and really put it kind of out of reach at that point, it feels really good. Yeah,
that was obviously a big-time hit, and, I'm sure our players were super jacked up that the guy that nobody thought would do it did it, and, hey, whether it was fair or foul, all we know is the guy that mattered called it fair. So, that was awesome. It was great to see our guys, because I kind of challenged them when I got thrown out of the game. It was like, go take it. Go take the game. It's not going to fall into your lap, kind of like the first one in a sense. Maybe kind of did. Northeast obviously wishes they would have played a little better in the first game. But this one I felt like we went and took it against a quality left-handed pitcher, and we just went out there and won the game. So that was awesome.
And then obviously talk about the end of the game. You mentioned it. They scored 4 runs, had the tying run at the plate, and actually, I think it was the go-ahead run at the play. I think they had 2 runners. They had runners on the corners, I believe. Yep. And a little bit of a head-scratching play. I almost couldn't believe that I was making the call as I was making it. they tried a stolen base, and I believe it was Evans behind the plate at that point, and he just threw an absolute dart to get the guy. There was no doubt about it. You know, we talked about it afterwards. Funny thing about it is I don't think Duncan knew that it was going, and he kind of had to matrix to get out of the way of the ball. So fortunately he did, and that play was made, and that's kind of how the game ended. You know, you love it for the Wolves, but if you're the Tigers, you're going, man, we really ran ourselves out of a potential win there. But you look at the pitching lines, Connor Pittman did a really good job in this one, I felt like. 6 innings pitched, gave up 4 runs, all earned on 5 hits, just 1 walk and 9 strikeouts. So kind of got back to what we've used to seeing him. You don't want to see him give up 4 runs there at the end. Maybe ran out of a little bit of a gas and maybe shouldn't have gone out there in the 7th. But, you're trying to get him the complete game, see what he can do. And then, of course, Jaden Duncan comes in, shuts it down. Just 2 hits and a strikeout in a scoreless inning of relief and got his 2nd save of the year. So, again, another day where you didn't have to use a lot of your bullpen arms. You went to the same guy twice. He paid off for you, and he got 2 saves in Jaden. And, again, you faced a lefty, as you mentioned, in Drew Carty from the Tigers. This is back-to-back doubleheaders where you've seen very good lefties, probably 2 of the better lefties in the league, and you've really been able to hit them. Whereas maybe at the start of the year, you kind of struggled against some of those lefties. I know the first time you saw Bo Bryans from Jones, you struggled against him. The next time you saw him here, we really got on him. So, you got to feel good knowing that, you saw good arms from both sides of the plate in a doubleheader and were able to get wins out of both of them. Yeah,
we have seen some good left-handed pitchers, and actually going to see another good one tomorrow from East Central in Luke Cooley. So he's probably one of the better ones in the league. So once again, another challenge from a left-hander, but hopefully we've got enough experience with those now to where we kind of keep that trend rolling.
So, and then that just brings us into our next one. You will go to East Central in a game that was supposed to be played on Tuesday the 26th. Rain forces it a day back. You'll end up going over there to East Central on the 27th. You'll play against them. You've already mentioned you'll probably see Luke Cooley. What else do you know about the Warriors? I know they're still number 1 even after taking a loss the other day against Northwest. So it's not going to be easy going over to Decatur and getting a win, but it's certainly doable because we've seen it happen within the last few days.
Obviously everybody's I guess they've kind of been the talk of the town in a sense, starting the season off, 30-0, and then finally losing, and now 31-1. So extremely disciplined team, great program. Obviously I coached there for 3 years with Coach Holloman and respect them a ton, and they do things the right way, and that's why they're successful, So a program that I respect a ton, but also I'd really like to beat them. But they'll be really solid. They're swinging the bats unbelievably well. So we'll see how things go, and we're excited for the chance. I mean, not every day you get to play the number 1 team in the country, so it'll be fun, and hopefully we come out on top.
And then you'll also finish out the week in a little bit of a different scenario. You'll play on Friday instead of Saturday. It's Easter weekend. For people wondering back home, that's why they're playing on Friday. You like to give the guys that 3-day break there.
Right.
Both baseball and softball playing on Friday, on Good Friday, instead of playing on that normal Saturday. But what do you know about the Trojans going up there to that one?
I know most recently they split with Southwest, who is a team that beat us earlier in the year. That's a solid team that's got some good arms. So I think Mississippi Delta is swinging the bats well. Not sure on the pitching side, but, it's a conference opponent at their place. Going on the road is never an easy thing, and seems like everybody kind of plays a little better at their home field. So another solid team that obviously they all count the same. So love to get 2 wins there, and just looking forward to some good baseball games.
So obviously lots of exciting action coming up this week, and again in a week when the Wolves, we'd already talked about the Jones games, but we'll remind you they split against the number 10 ranked Bobcats and then swept the Tigers, go 3-1 in a week in conference play. A great week for the Wolves, and lots of exciting action coming up, going on the road to number 1 East Central, then turn on Wednesday, turning around, going on the road to Mississippi Delta on Friday, and then they'll come back. They'll host this game, I think, before you get to Coach talk to Coach Chamblee, but we'll talk about it afterwards. You'll host Pearl River. I believe they're ranked 5th as well, too. We'll have that game on Tuesday, April 2nd, the Monday right after we get back from Easter break, and we'll have that one on stream for you. East Central and Delta will carry streams for both of their games. We'll make sure and give you all those links on our social media channels, on Co-Lin Athletics, on all of our social media channels. I'm Kevin Kaiser, Sports Information Coordinator here at Co-Lin. Stick with us through the break. We've got Coach Howard coming to tell you all about the Lady Wolves and a perfect 6-0 week. Welcome back in. Thanks for sticking with us through the break. And joining me now is our head softball coach, Meleah Howard. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Excited to be here.
And Coach, obviously, we already talked about the Jones games, so we'll talk about the John Melvin University games and the Northeast Tigers games. Those part of a perfect 6-0 week for you. So a little bit of a spoiler alert there. You swept both of those, but we'll start with John Melvin. You won game 1 8-0, game 2 14-2. So you outscored them 22-2 in a doubleheader in a game where. If I'm not mistaken, I think everybody got to play in this one. But your thoughts overall on that doubleheader?
Non-conference games during the conference season are always good because you get some people to play and get opportunities. You don't always get opportunities. And I was excited to see everybody get some at-bats, and all of our pitchers got to throw. And, we got to move some people around on defense. So we got to do some different things. So that was fun.
So I think I said everybody. I think everybody but Kara Biswell got to play in this doubleheader. Didn't pitch her. Didn't have to use her. So anytime you can give her a little bit of a day off, you like that. But you look at the first game, and it really felt like the first inning set the tone for the whole day. I don't think they got a base runner there. Keegan McCorkle got the start, did really well for you, and then Madison Moe comes up. First or second pitch she sees, puts it out in left field, and it's a 1-0 game at that point, and you really don't ever look back from that standpoint.
Right. You can't ask for a better start offensively than a leadoff home run. So proud of her.
I think you also had a little bit of a surprise in this one later in the game. Sarah Grace Smith gets you a home run as well, too. So I think I told you, I said I was up there watching and I was having a conversation with somebody at the same time about some things that were coming up for the weekend, and I heard it, and then I heard everybody start cheering, so I looked over and I saw the ball go over the fence, and I said, I think SG just hit a home run. So
she did. Sarah Grace has some power. She does.
So it was exciting to see that, and again, very, very solid pitching performances. Game 1, you started Keegan, she got the win, 5-0 to improve to the year, and then Emily Richard pitches in relief as well. Game 2, Carly Rouse pitches, gets her second win of the week, part of a 3-win week for her. Very solid week out of her. And then you also pitched Emma Kate Fimiano and Lainey Waggis back as well, too. So, again, you got to use just about everybody pitching-wise. And then, again, in Game 2, I think nearly everybody who grabbed a bat got on base somehow, through a walk, a hit by pitch, or anything like that. So, a complete offensive performance. She had 17 hits in this one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We, got to play everybody, and everybody got some good at-bats and some good defensive reps. And, anytime you have 17 hits, it's fun. So,
and then you turned your attention back to conference play. You went back to facing your third straight ranked opponent in conference play, part of now 4 straight is one of the games we'll talk about coming up. But talk about the doubleheader here. And, again, Game 1, you didn't have to come from behind the first time in conference play where you've outright won one and kind of led wire to wire. Game 2, you had to come from behind. But overall, your thoughts on that one?
Well, we talked about it. Going to Northeast is always hard. Playing at their place is hard. They're always better to me at Northeast than they are on the road. But very quality opponent. They did a good job. They did a good job of keeping us off balance with their pitching. So it took us a minute to get started, but very proud of Kara Biswell. Mm-hmm. She had a heck of a day, and then we were able to get our offense rolling. So that was good. And anytime we play and we start the game off with good at bats, I'm like, okay, we're gonna get on this pitcher. And that's what we did.
So you look at Game 1, it was really a pitcher's duel for the first 3 innings. I think maybe 7 combined base runners between those 3 innings or something like that. Not a lot of base runners or hits or walks or anything. But then Taylor Everson broke it loose, had the 2-run home run in the 4th, and that's really kind of, you got the lead and you never really looked back. And as you mentioned, Kara really looked like what we're used to seeing out of Kara. Complete game, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 7 strikeouts. So just a really complete game out of that bunch all around.
Yeah, she was in a good mindset. And like we talked about with John Melvin, we were able to give her a rest, and she was fresh coming into that game. So I was proud of her for going the distance and going the full game.
So you also had 2 hit games from Zykeria Cole and AG as well. So 9 hits. 6 of them come from 3 bats that you've really expected a lot out of, and you've gotten a lot out of. You also had Madison Moak, Kinley Muldair, and Kinley Ainsworth with hits as well too in Game 1. And then in Game 2, this one was a lot more back and forth than the first one. You look at this one, you're up 1-0 after the first inning. They score 2. You're down 2-1. They score another one in the third, 3-1. You tie it with 2 in the fourth. They hit a 3-run home run in the fourth, and then it's all Lady Wolves at that point until the fourth inning. You scored 2 in the fifth, 3 in the sixth, 4 in the seventh. You look at that, and a lot of teams, they don't necessarily get better as the game goes longer. But this time you did, and they scored 2 in the bottom of the seventh, but you were able to close it out. And your thoughts here on Game 2 and how well the ladies were able to persevere.
So Game 2, they actually started their typical Game 1 starter, or what you would call their number 1 pitcher, against us in Game 2. And she was a tall lefty. She was throwing it pretty hard, hitting spots. So I was kind of concerned going into that game, like, okay, this girl may give us some problems. And at first she did. But once we were able to break the ice, it was our game at that point. We started Taylor Efferson in that game. A lot of times I don't have a Game 2 starter in my head until I see the hitter tendencies from Game 1. And then we decided to go with Taylor. Taylor wasn't necessarily on her best game that day. But, our go-to person here lately has been Carly Rouse. And Carly came in and she did a heck of a job. And once we were able to get back in that game, we tell people, and we've been telling y'all this whole season, that don't give up on us. Even if we get down, if there's a game left to play, we have a chance to come back. And, once we get hot, it's hard to stop us.
Right. Carly absolutely had a phenomenal week. I've told people all week, this is a girl who didn't have a win coming into last week. She came out of last week with 3, 2 of those in relief against nationally ranked teams, and only gave up 3 earned runs, and I think 9 2/3 innings pitched all week. Just a solid week for her. And those are the kind of things, when you have that, when you have those things happen for a pitcher like that, especially a freshman, they build a lot of confidence, and that helps you going forward throughout the rest of the year and in the postseason as well too.
Right. And she's been in a good mindset. She comes in and she keeps the ball low in the zone. She keeps them off balance. She changes speeds. She's just done a phenomenal job, and I couldn't be more proud of her. So,
and it's another game where you had 17 hits. That's 2 out of your last 4 where you've had 17 hits, and you had 5 members of the team with multi-hit game starting with Madison Moak, who, again, we want to congratulate her. She's the reigning MACC Player of the Week. So congratulations to Moak. Had a .619 average, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. I think I also put she got a hit in 5 out of 6 games, an RBI in 4 out of 6. So, and had 2 games in a week where she had 4 hits. This was one of them. She went 4 of 5 from the plate. AG goes 3 of 5. Taylor Efferson, Kinley Ainsworth, Emery Warren all get you 2 hits as well too. Carson Huey had a huge hit. She had a bases clearing triple in the, I believe that was the 7th, part of that 4-run 7th you had. She led the team in RBIs in this one with 4. Zykeria Cole had a hit. Bailey Goodson had a hit. Sarah Grace Smith had a hit. So up and down the lineup, this is another one where it felt like a lot of the buttons you pushed worked for you this one.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just a gut feeling. But I'm just really proud of our team because, from the beginning of the season, we've told them, hey, I know you're not going to get a hit every single time. Like that's not practical. That's not going to happen. But go in there and compete and have a good at bat, and good things will happen. And they're doing a very good job of that.
And we mentioned 2 of the pitchers. We'll make sure we give them their due credit as well too. Taylor get the start, 2 innings pitched, 3 runs, 2 of those earned, 3 hits, 1 walk. Carly gets the win in relief, 3 2/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 3 runs. She gave up the game tying 3-run home run, but then I thought she bounced back really well. That's a moment where it could spiral on you. You could lose a lot of confidence. She just kept rolling with it.
She bounced back. She did.
And she had 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. And then Kara Biswell comes in, gets the save. I think Carly got in a little bit of trouble, so you turned to Kara. She pitched an inning and a third, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 of those earned, and a strikeout. So, again, just another great display from the pitching staff for the Lady Wolves in this one.
Yeah, very proud of them. And like I said, they're doing a great job of, fulfilling their role, knowing when their name is called, what I expect them to do, and the defense has had their back. So I'm really proud.
So, and we'll turn the page. We look ahead. You've got your 4th straight ranked matchup in conference play coming up. You'll host the now number 9 Lady Warriors of East Central. I think first time that in this matchup, at least in the 3 years that I've been here, and I think maybe in your time here, that both the teams have come in ranked in the top 10. So a big matchup in Weston on the 27th. What do you know about the Lady Warriors coming into this one?
They're going to be scrappy. They're having a really good year, but I am excited that we're playing them here. Anytime we play here, I feel more comfortable. But yeah, they're going to have 2 good arms in the circle. But that doesn't really bother me. I tell the girls when we make the lineup, I'm really not worried who we're playing. I know the ones on this lineup card are going to get the job done, and that's what we have to focus on.
I think a mark of Lee White's teams in her time at East Central and before that at PRCC, they've always been scrappy. Mm-hmm. They've always been a team that if you don't put them away early, they'll come back and find a way to make it interesting or maybe even beat you. That's the team they're feeling really good. They went on the road, swept Northwest, who's a top-ranked team, so they're coming in pretty hot as well. So it's going to be a fun matchup. We encourage, if you can't make it to the ballpark, watch it on stream. We'll have that one, but we hope to see you at Lady Wolves Field on Wednesday, March 27th at 3 p.m. And then we'll look a little bit forward. I know we usually go one at a time, but we'll look at the Lady Trojans of Mississippi Delta. You'll host them on Friday. 2 and 4 is the game times for that. And you look at that one, and Coach Hobbs has got the Lady Trojans feeling good. They've won some games in conference play. They're doing some things, surprising some folks. But what do you know about them heading into that one? I
definitely think Coach Hobbs is doing a really good job with them. They are competing with a lot of teams that they usually do not compete with. They took Parkland extra innings. They beat Gulf Coast. So they're definitely not a team to take lightly. So we have to come in and again, focus on what we do and play our game and not worry about the rest.
So lots of exciting things happening for the Lady Wolves. Again, they go a perfect 6-0 last week, sweep the top-ranked Bobcats, sweep John Melvin University, turn around, sweep the Lady Tigers of Northeast, doing 2 out of 3 of those on the road. They return home, host the Lady Warriors of East Central, the number 9 ranked Lady Warriors, a big top 10 matchup this Wednesday at 3. And then they'll host the Lady Trojans of Delta. We'll have both of those games on streams for you if you can't make it out to the park, but we hope to see you there. But if not, definitely tune in. You'll see some great action, some great softball, and then the Lady Wolves will turn their attention to the next week, another top-ranked matchup. But we'll talk to Coach Howard before they have that game for sure. I'm Kevin Kaiser, Sports Information Coordinator here at Co-Lin. Thanks for tuning in. Again, as a reminder, baseball will play both those teams as well, on the road at East Central, on the road at Delta, both the same days. And then we'll talk to Coach Chamblee after theirs. Tennis on the road against Meridian on the 27th. They'll host Hines for their sophomore day on the 28th, so come out and enjoy some tennis as well, too. That's all the action we've got for this week. Thanks for tuning in to the Co-Lin Coaches Show. Again, I'm Kevin Kaiser, and we'll talk to you next week.